Joshua says, appreciate it. Yeah, those fires were definitely devastating for many. Thankfully, my family and I were safe. We do have some friends that lost their home, though, unfortunately. Man, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, I know someone else from our community, their family was affected by that as well. So prayers go out to everyone on the West Coast. I had a win. It was like a delayed win. Like in sync, you work on a lot of things, but you can't really talk about anything until it's out a lot of times. So I stumbled across, it was an Andrew Wiggins shoe ad that I had did some work on. I think it was like a year ago, a little over a year ago. I think we wrapped it up about a year ago. So came across a video for that. So I dropped that inside the hub if you want to see that. Also, if you're a Sync Producer Hub member, I'm doing a sync placement breakdown of this ad. I'm going to find the session, open it up. This was actually a kind of work into picture. Like they sent me the video. So I'll show you like what that whole thing looked like and what that process was like. So it'll be cool. So yeah, that's it, man, for the wins this week. We got a question from James McGregor. Says, when writing to multiple briefs and the library provided you with ample time to prepare, what's your mindset and approach? Do you take one brief at a time or jump back and forth? That's a good question. I like to focus and just kind of tackle one at a time, because I find it easier to get, especially if I'm doing multiple tracks for a particular brief, right? I'll take one brief and then I'll just kind of lock in on that. Since I'm in that mode, I'm going to have, all the sounds and everything loaded up. And I also like to, I'll create a session, get all my sounds and everything right in that session. And then I'll just duplicate that session, delete everything, rename it. And now I have a template for the next track for that brief. So that allows me to kind of work a little bit faster. And then once I kind of get however many tracks I want for that brief, especially if I have the time, then I'll move in and kind of knock out the next one and just kind of stay in that vibe while I'm there. But that's usually how I'll approach it. Ken says, that if everyone took that attitude, there wouldn't be any music to enjoy. There are plenty of people who can't play, but they enjoy music. Yeah, 100%. Antonio Ease, what's good, Antonio? Best way to get better at mixing is feedback and testing on the phone, laptop, Bluetooth speakers, headphones. For sure, getting that feedback is crucial too. And then playing them back with radio songs that are already professionally mixed. Yep. Ken says, couldn't you just compare your current mixes to tracks that you already have placed since you have placements? Yes, I do that as well. That's like quicker because they're already on the computer. So yeah, I will definitely do that. G5 says, I used to check every single track in my car multiple times. My neighbors probably thought I was crazy because so many times I was going back and forth to my car to listen to them. That's hilarious, man. The car test struggle. But yeah, I get it. Today's video is brought to you by TV Placement Mastery. This is my high-level coaching program for producers to fast-track you to your first licensing deal within 90 days. Now, this is an invite-only program, so you have to apply, and I only work with a few producers at a time. So just go to tvplacementmastery.com or click the link in the description to apply. What's up, G?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, cool. Hello. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Blessed and grateful.
Awesome.
I just wanted to basically, it's more of a comment about the mixes and stuff like that. I'm still trying to get mine right. One thing that helped me, at least I don't know if you can see behind me, I have like acoustic paneling. That did help.
Yeah.
I tried using the Sonar Works also.
Okay.
And for me, unless I was doing something wrong, it didn't work. I brought the microphone and everything, and I don't know. I bought it, and I'd use it a few times, and I would use it and then check my mixes in the car, and they didn't come out right. So maybe that's on my part. But I went to where was it? It was the PMA meeting, Production Music Association, like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I talked to XJ Will actually in person. And I said, end up and send him a message on Instagram, and I asked him, I said, hey, what do you do for your mixes, and do you check them in the car? And he's like, no, and so his thing, from what he told me, it's going on TV. So and what I got from that is that it doesn't have to be radio ready. That's what I got. I still want them to be radio ready and be good.
Yeah.
But I was so meticulous, and I was going back and forth so many times
Right.
just for one.
Yep.
And it took so long, and then I got frustrated because after making the music and mixing it, and then I'm gonna have Adam A7X speakers.
Oh,
And I was like, I
nice.
spent all this money on the speakers, and then I can't trust these, and I'm trusting the mix in my car, so I just kind of like let it go.
Yep.
And so and that's it. I haven't checked my mixes in the car, so yeah, it's frustrating. You spend money on this equipment, and I don't know. I just kind of wanted to put that out there. That's just me
Yeah.
and my situation.
No, I love that because a lot of times, man, we're like our own worst critics, right? And I think that that goes to show you that don't overthink it, just send it and let them give you the feedback. If they don't like it, they'll tell you what they don't like about it, and then you'll kind of know exactly what to go back and fix depending on who you send it to. And Jay Will's right. Like when you think about the use of the music we're producing specifically for sync, 9 times out of 10, this music isn't going to be heard in a car. It's going to be heard on the TV, and the volume's going to be mad low. Unless it's like an ad and the music is just like shining, or it's a featured placement where it's just in front of everything. But for the most part, it's playing a background role to what's going on to picture. So
Yeah.
you ain't gonna even hear them low ends like you think once it hits the TV screen, those TV speakers. As you got surround sound, then you may hear a little bit. But yeah, I think that just it goes to show you, just don't overthink it. Get it as good as you can with what you have. Send it, take the feedback, make the adjustments, and then just keep pitching it and keep it moving, and just kind of go from there. Yeah, like Joshua, yeah, analysis paralysis. But yeah,
So I just wanted to put that out there. So
yeah, thanks for sharing that, man.
thank you.
Yep. I think Ken, you got another question?
Just a follow-up to
Yeah.
what you guys were just saying. When you talk about mastering, so for TV, are you really, how important, I guess, is it to get to that, negative 14 LUFS or whatever it is for TV?
I I don't think they really care too much about the specific number. For me, I'm trying to get it as loud as I can without it sounding distorted. So I'm looking more so at the decibels on my main channel and making sure that just peaks at negative zero point 0.1 dB. And then from there, if like with my mastering plugin, I'll turn the gain up as much as I can until I start to hear some distortion and clipping and things like that. Then I'll tone it down and I'll just kind of live there. I may have to make some adjustments on the overall volume of the tracks in the mix. But usually I'll mix low, keep everything low, which will give me more headroom to kind of boost that gain up. And then I'm just kind of topping everything off at negative zero point 0.1 dB. And then usually that leaves me around, I guess, anywhere between -8 to -12 LUFS. But I don't think they're really checking too much for that stuff. Again, once it gets synced to picture, they're going to turn the volume all the way down anyway. So, you know what I mean? Like, fighting the loudness war is almost irrelevant in the context of which the music will be used. Does that make sense? Flair says premium clean limiters will get you up to -8 dB with max quality. Many libraries have in-house engineers that will end up tweaking mixes. Facts. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, a lot of times they'll ask us for stems and they're like, yeah, we'll send this to like our mastering people. Again, that's why I'm just like, don't overthink it. Just send it. Worst case scenario, like if they really like your track, they'll be like, just send us the stems and, we'll have our team, put a mix and master. But, always put your best foot forward if you can. Do your absolute best and then go from there. Ray Garcia says networks make level adjustments too. They have to per FCC. So yeah, Ray, we're gonna get Ray on the podcast, man. He's gonna give us some insight. Ray, I'm gonna reach out to you, man, and we can schedule that because I think that would be a great conversation too. I personally don't focus on LUFS unless requested by the music library that I'm submitting to. Put my master on Ozo 10 advanced at -1 dB true peak. Boom. There you go.